Hi everyone, welcome back to another Sunday Nights with Faye Seidler. It's me, it's Sunday night, or it's another night that you're watching. You do you. But we're going to get into more news, exciting news. You're going to love it. The first thing I want to share is that my yearly event, the Raise the Trans Flag video online digital engagement for people, is coming up this Tuesday, March 31st at 9 p.m. on Facebook and the YouTubes. This is one of my yearly events that I do. That's a celebration of trans visibility, of trans people, to put our stories and voices and hobbies and lives out there so we can see a broader picture of what it is to be trans and to find joy in community. Because if you only get your news online that frames transness in this really hateful rhetoric, you might not understand that being trans is kind of cool. You can just be who you are and express yourself fully and live your life in joy. It is something we should all strive to. Trans people could be all of our role models, even if you're not trans. So you could check out that event, share it with people you think might benefit from it. I hope it's a good time for everyone. I also want to let people know I will not be doing a show next week. I need to give myself a break because I have been putting in like 16-hour days basically every day for the last week, and will do that until the event concludes, just to get all my work done. I do not have an enviable schedule in all these events that I do on top of my normal work. I don't have extra room for, so I won't be here next week. I will be taking a little bit of a break. I hope you'll allow that. I hope I'm not canceled over that. But that's just what I got for you for my stuff. Getting into other people's stuff. A really exciting opportunity is happening at Bismarck Veterans Memorial Public Library. It is going to be a story time with Lindsey Burkhardt of Families Flourish, North Dakota, specifically a book that she authored and you can actually purchase called My Body Safety Rules Help Keep Me Safe. Families Flourish, North Dakota was previously called Prevent Child Abuse North Dakota, and they really try to intercede in any way you can imagine youth are abused in this state. As someone who is a youth advocate, the work is very important to me in making sure that we can both empower our structures that exist, whether that be schools or communities, parents or teachers, social workers or police, as well as to make sure youth know how to access and utilize these resources and what isn't okay. So there's an opportunity to listen to one of our community champions to read their book on this that is approachable for youth in Bismarck. You can purchase a copy yourself, but otherwise I just encourage checking out their work. They're one of my heroes in the state because of just how passionate they are about this, how much they bring themselves into the work, and how much that inspires everyone else to get motivated. They are the person that taught me a lot about some of this work and why I also try to champion as much as I can, because it's alarming how many of our youth really do experience abuse in our state. So for anyone going, I just want you to know that it is a family-friendly event. Even though the topic is pretty heavy, it is age appropriate and approachable and designed to be, because they obviously know that this is a tough topic for people. The whole purpose of all this is to make it easier for us to talk about so our kiddos who need this help can get it. A cool virtual opportunity to celebrate fair housing is coming up on April 9th at 3:30 p.m. It is a virtual opportunity put on by the High Plains Fair Housing. High Plains Fair Housing is an incredible advocate across our state for legal rights, especially for renters. They also educate landlords on what appropriate guidelines can be. They give pamphlets for a lot of different ways to exercise your rights across the state and generally advocate for fair housing in every way you can imagine all across our region. So if you are someone who's interested in fair housing, this is an event that you would want to go to. It's a virtual event. Check out more. Again, it's April 9th, coming up pretty quickly here at 9 a.m. I want to let everyone know that April 14th, the Cass Clay County Suicide Prevention Summit is happening. I'm guessing it's probably full by this point. We've been advertising it quite a bit. But this is a place that I just want you to know it's happening, that hundreds of people are gathering to learn more about suicide prevention across a multitude of topics and communities. I think suicide prevention across the last couple of years has just been incredible to see how much it has grown, especially since we changed our suicide prevention lifeline to just 988. I think we never had access to more help or mental health help or just broad understandings of suicide and suicide prevention. And a lot of this topic is not spoken with the same shame and stigma that it used to be. We are slowly working and healing and recognizing that we all need help at some point. So even if you're not able to attend the summit, even if it is filled up, just know that this work continues. It is amazing, and get connected with it. If you're interested, I can connect you. There's a ton of opportunities that happen all year. In really exciting news, in Fargo, we're going to be showing the movie Fargo at the Fargo Theater. It fits, right? It makes sense. But we have a special guest coming, and that is Peter Stormare. Stormare? I spent minutes trying to figure out how to pronounce that last name. I am not capable of doing that. That is why I am not on an official TV set saying official things. cannot parse the pronunciations because my ears can literally, my audio processing doesn't work. I listened to a video like 5 times on how to pronounce Peter Stormare's. That's not correct. It's like Somare. I'm gonna leave this all in just because, like, I tried. Even if I had a vocal coach, I cannot phonetically, like, my brain doesn't work that way. But they're here, and that's amazing, and that's cool. In my next story, I'm here from the editing room because I forgot to put this in, and it is a wonderful produced video advertisement for something called Dog's Body Drama. I don't have to say much more because Em will actually take it away from here.
Hi, my name is Em, and my pronouns are they, them. I'm a playwright, painter, and co-founder of a new theater company in Moorhead, Dog's Body Drama. What is a dog's body, you ask? That's a fair question. A dog's body is a person who does menial jobs, the grunt work, if you will. It's also working class folks on whose backs the world runs. It's also my spouse and I putting on shows on a shoestring budget. And it's also our mascot, Roxy. Dog's Body Drama is holding auditions in May for a staged reading of a brand new play, Livin' the Dream, which follows employees and customers in 4 retail locations trying to maintain their sanity and pay bills while the world comes to an end around them. If you've never tried theater before, or if it's been a while since you've been on stage, a reading can be a great way to put a toe in the water. There's no memorization required, and the rehearsal time is minimal. If you want assistance building a resume, getting a headshot taken, or scheduling an alternate audition time, we're happy to help. Connect with Dog's Body Drama on Facebook, Instagram, or by email if you'd like to be involved.
In other opportunities, there is a Trans Joy in Sports Zine requesting individuals write stories about great times they've had as a trans individual in sports. They have to exist somewhere. There's a deadline for April 3rd. I don't know much about this opportunity. I just seen it through the kind of channels that I have and newsletters that I have, but I just try to share those things when I see them. I want to share a story of some students that were stranded in Washington, D.C. due to the weather. They were supposed to be there for 3 days, but ended up being there for a couple more days because the airports weren't able to take them back to North Dakota. I think it's a really cool story because it shows a representative, Julie Fedorchak, who I'm also saying their last name incorrectly. It's just, like, I have such a tough time. And I can't just be like, oh, I'll say it correctly, then you can say it correctly. My brain does not work that way. There are things I do not like about our Congresswoman, especially how I think that she seems to just defend what our federal government is doing, even if it does harm North Dakota as a state. I think it's cool that she took some time to hang out with these kiddos and show them kind of what was going on in her line of work and area. I love that about politicians. I think that's where politicians really shine, is when they really engage with people, when they engage with youth and kind of show them, what's life is like. I know even if I have political disagreements with someone or I haven't liked what they've done, I think that most of us, like, we want kids to grow up feeling like there's a future worth having, like they can be invested in, that, we care about them. I know that even if we have differences, I trust that our Congresswoman has sincere beliefs about the world and is operating under them, even if, again, I might disagree. And I think that allowing this complexity with people and understanding the shared values we have is a better source of connection than simply looking for the next opportunity to dunk on them. So I want to share that story, and it'd be nice just to share it as is, right, and just be a good thing. But I think I want to make it a broader conversation about just ways we can connect, right? Like, I would still hope that probably someone else is in our House seat in the future, based on the ways that she has voted. Yeah, but I like that she did this. And honestly, if she continues to do things that I like, maybe my opinion might change on that. So I just want to put that out there. I want to highlight the work F5 does again. They do some incredible work. They have a chapter office in Minot, I don't know the appropriate way to say that has put together the Positive Connections, which is a re-entry meal gathering event in Minot. A lot of their work tends to be kind of reviticism in terms of trying to make sure that, like, folks who are leaving a jail or prison system are able to get soft landings, who are able to reintegrate and kind of build their life back in ways that they're set up for success. So I think that's a really cool thing they're doing that combines a lot of community initiatives and work together in ways that are meaningful, which I like. There's a story on Games Done Quick, which I think is really cool. I actually haven't read this. I don't have time to read this, but one of my friends ended up sharing it, and I think it's probably going to be a really good read based on what they have said. I love Games Done Quick. I've been following it for 10 years. It has been kind of my break sometimes, like the thing I try to do for myself, even though most of my work tends to just be like not for myself. But check it out if you like Games Done Quick. I'm sure this is a really good look at the ways that they've built themselves up over the years. In terrible news, we are getting more stories every year about women who are pregnant and finding out that they might be in danger due to the laws that we have. In a horrific case in Florida, there was a pregnant woman who was in labor who had to Zoom call with the judge because of a disagreement over a C-section. This is a case where she was pregnant and giving birth and wanted to give birth, but she did not want a C-section because she did not like the risk associated with it. From what I read about, the risk of delivery was very small, with their complications being like 1 or 2% or smaller. It was just basically that there was some risk with giving a delivery that wasn't by a C-section. This is a case where she very clearly lost any body autonomy. And it wasn't a matter of like what we might consider abortion. It wasn't a matter of that. It was simply that she did not have agency over her own body or the risks of that body, that the doctors were prioritizing the safety of her baby over her life with things that were in the 1% range of risk factor, as well as being afraid of what a C-section might do to her because she's had one before in the case of the story, and the recovery time for that and the impact that would have on her baby and her families. So it was a thing where there was a complex decision that was happening, and she did not get to make that, and it was not made in her favor ultimately. And this is the risk that we always talk about with losing body autonomy. It is not a matter of everyone can get abortions up until 9 months. It is a matter of we are getting so draconian with our laws that at a certain point women no longer even have any control over the body the second they're pregnant, and that is becoming more the norm than not. And that's why people are so, afraid of how awful so many of these laws are and the criminality behind them. And I mean, there's obviously hours to say about this, but I try to summarize stories pretty quickly, and I just share this one to show that there are severe consequences to a lot of the anti-abortion movements that we've seen. I want to let people know that the largest physician organization in the U.S. reaffirms gender-affirming care is medically necessary, specifically surgeries, and specifically without reduction to particular age. There has been a bit of a thing happening where effectively some plastic surgeons said that maybe we shouldn't do surgery on youth until they're 19, specifically trans youth, not cis youth. And this has been basically like the first crack in this wall of every major medical association. All these places support trans care, which is what we've been saying for basically the last decade. So this is like the one little point where it's just like this one aspect of this kind of care is recommended to happen later. So this tiny little kernel is being put into the most giant mountain as all the anti-trans folks are being like, see, it's all crumbling. It's all crumbling down now. And that's just not what's happening at all. Like, it's not even like a departure from trans care. It's not saying trans youth aren't real. It's not saying trans medical intervention like hormone therapy is bad. It is a nothing burger at its best. And it's just so annoying that we have to continue to feed the misinformation machine about this. Doctors know what they are doing, and it is a collection of hundreds of thousands of doctors composed of many medical associations that we trust to keep us alive. It's weird that they are something so established and trusted and well-respected, but for some reason we all somehow agree that they've simply been confused about trans care. It is frustrating to have to keep on having this conversation. Trans people are valid. The medical literature is clear. All care is individualistic. Some people don't need trans care because they're not trans and we don't want to give it to them. Some trans kids need it because they are trans, and that is how they have any quality of life. It is not difficult if you just sit down and listen. It's not. But that's a story that we continue to put out there as we continue to fight for medical necessary care for these youth. Moving into better news, the Great Plains Food Bank has served 167,000 people in 2025. The Great Plains Food Bank also has some food packing events coming up in April if you want to help them out directly. But they do phenomenal work in making sure people across our state have food. This is essential because we are having more food crises that are happening in our state at the moment that are getting worse and worse. So they need more support, and we need to advocate for the government to give them the funding that they need as our legislative session comes up. So keep that in mind. And for my final story, I just want to share something that is amazing, something that gives me a tremendous amount of hope, and that is there's a new Moorhead Transitional Housing building that just opened up. They had their opening on Thursday, and I actually got to go there and talk to the director, talk to a few people that I've known since I worked very closely with YouthWorks across the last couple of years and championing their mission, and trying to highlight it as much as I can and get people to donate to them because I think their work is vital and life-saving. The building looks and feels like a dorm. It has so much natural light. It feels like a place you can heal. It feels like a place where it doesn't feel institutional in a way a lot of those places can. And I think that's so amazing. And I think that could be revolutionary for a lot of the youth who need it. I really needed that kind of service when I was a younger adult. Life got really scary for me when I was about 19 or 20. And then it took a long time for me to recover from that. And I think if I had help and professional help and just a little mercy in my life, I could have recovered a lot faster and my life could have looked a lot different. And I think that youth having this opportunity is going to be revolutionary for their life. I credit a lot of my work today as being a survivor of quite a lot of different things. So I think that not only are they going to be rebuilding their futures here, whatever that might be, they're going to be shaping and rebuilding what the future of our communities can even look like. And I think that's incredible. I think that if you can and have the means, you support them, promote them, donate to them in any way you can, because I think this work really isn't just helping kids, it's shaping our future, all of ours. That's all I have for you for the show tonight. As always, I do a ton more work than this, so if you want to check out even more stories, check out my weekly news report. I hope to see everyone Tuesday, March 31st at 9 p.m. for my Raise the Trans Flag video event. It's going to be a good time. I won't be here next week, like I said at the beginning of my episode, just to take myself a little bit of a break. And then you can also directly support my work if you would like to, and you can, and I welcome it. You can also contribute to the Raise the Trans Flag event, and that will be given as mutual aid to all the trans individuals who participated and are trans youth serving orgs in the state. Otherwise, thanks for being here, and I hope you have a good rest of the week. See you in 2 Mondays. Yeah.